Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go.
Then going into your sophomore season, you sustained a shoulder injury. And so, did you ever feel like you never become back to normal, become that BigTen Freshman of the Year again, or what was your mindset going into that injury?
Well, I was playing my entire freshman year with a torn labrum in my left shoulder. So as the injury got worse, and there was a considerable amount of pain. I'd never had an orthopedic surgery before, and by the end of the year, I had it imaged, and the coaches and athletic training staff and doctors said after the season you'll need a surgery, which firstly kind of opened my eyes to how serious big time sports are. They were it's routine for them, like, hey, season's over, you'll get a surgery, you'll be back. And for me, it was a pretty dramatic experience. So I had that shoulder operated on in early January after my freshman football season at Wisconsin, and spent about 6 months rehabbing and recovering. And I was slated to start as a true sophomore. I was on a lot of watch lists for the best linebacker in the country and best defensive player in the country. Preseason all Big Ten selection. And our season opener my sophomore year, I injured that same shoulder. And I thought I'd re-aggravated the labral tear, which would have been trouble. That's if you have two bad tears in your labrum, sometimes that can end your career. So I rehabbed it. I missed our second game, and they put me back in for the third game against Arizona State. And I lasted less than one series. I made a couple tackles, and on the second tackle, badly dislocated my shoulder in a way that felt different than how it would dislocate my freshman season. They decided to kind of send me to specialists because they thought I had torn my labrum twice, and it shouldn't be that painful or you experience that dramatic of a dislocation. So to Wisconsin's credit, and again, my surprise at how serious, big time sports can be, they sent me to James Andrews, who's one of the best orthopedic sports doctors in the country. And they sent me to a shoulder specialist at the University of Pittsburgh. And I decided to have my second left shoulder surgery done at Pittsburgh. And what they found, whenever you have two operations on your shoulder, the second one has to be open, meaning rather than an arthroscopic repair, they make a large incision, open up your shoulder joint because they want to find out what went wrong. And they found that I actually broke a bone in my shoulder. So my labrum was intact. I didn't re-aggravate an old injury. It was a new injury. So the doctor put in a couple of three screws, and it is dramatic or hard, but it's actually good news because bones heal better than labral tears. And I was pleased to hear that. I learned that was actually good news. I still had concerns that whether I'd be able to play football ever again. That's two serious operations in 10 months. And they actually, so I took a medical red shirt my sophomore year, and I had a similar labral tear in my right shoulder. So they imaged it and said, well, since you're going to be out the season, you might as well have that one done too. And so in December, I had an orthoscopic surgery on my right shoulder, which in hindsight, I don't think I would have had that operation done. But that was the first time in my athletic life that I thought I might be done as an athlete. 3 major surgeries in less than a year. To put a silver lining on it, what that 2010 caused me to step back and be a little less obsessed with football and explore some other things in school and life. And I think I probably grew a lot that year, but it was very difficult. And I didn't know if I'd ever be able to play again. But my red shirt sophomore year, I switched to middle linebacker. I basically hadn't played football in 18 months, but wound up starting at middle linebacker. I didn't miss a single snap that season, and was a third team All-American and first team Big Ten. So I rebounded. I went from, thinking I'd never play again to being back on the NFL track. And yeah, that just, I think my senior year at Alter, we went undefeated, won a state championship. My freshman year at Wisconsin, we won 10 games and I had personal success. My sophomore year was a real setback. And it was the first time I'd had a pretty charmed athletic life. It was the first time I experienced real adversity, and also came in contact with the significant mental, physical commitment that high level sports are, and kind of the industry behind high level sports. Because until then, even though I worked very hard, I was playing and having fun and didn't really have huge problems. And 2010, I think, changed